When we initially want something out of life, all we know is that we want the thing. We want the idea of the thing. We don't really know what it takes to really have the thing. So wanting to be rich, the idea of wanting to be rich is totally different from being rich. A lot of times we want things and we don't know exactly what it takes. Sometimes we're being protected. Sometimes if you believe in a higher power, it'll be easy for you to understand that you're being protected from the negative things of having that thing because you're not prepared. It takes a lot more than just spending money to be rich. Once you realize what it means to be rich, maybe you'll think again and say, I actually want to be wealthy. I actually want to have assets. I want to have equity in things. But you initially start by saying, I want to be rich. Typically, when someone just wants to be rich, they'll think, oh, I just want to have money in my bank account. I get to spend money here, spend money there. They're not thinking about the back end and what it actually takes. What is the person doing to be rich? And a lot of times we're being protected from the negative aspects of getting what we want and not being prepared for it. I remember I started a business and I started to get some sales, and the business totally tanked within the first maybe 2 weeks. And I was just like, why me? Why is everyone else's stuff working out but not mine? But now looking back at it, I'm like, thank God it didn't go up. Like it could have easily gone really well, and I could have easily gotten a lot of sales. But today, when I'm learning about taxes and I'm learning about, how things really work on the back end, I can now see in hindsight that I was not ready for it to be successful. And I'm so grateful that it wasn't. Because if it was, I wouldn't have paid my taxes because I didn't know what taxes were and how to pay taxes. So that would have been blown off. It would have gotten out of control to the point where I probably would have ended up in jail or something for not paying taxes or not doing the paperwork right. So I'm grateful. Like, I feel like I was being protected for the business failing so early on. I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have a lot of expenses accruing to the point where I could not handle it. So today, I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared, and I definitely was not prepared before. The idea of having a business was so different from actually running a business. You think that you're just the boss and you sit back and you just watch everything work by itself. But really what happens is you really have to become disciplined. You have to learn a lot of things. You have to learn about sales, marketing, supply chain management, all these things that I didn't know, I was not prepared for. But I only knew about those things afterwards. Years later is when I learned, like, oh man, like if I would have gotten what I wanted when I wanted it, it would have been a disaster. So I'm grateful for not getting what I wanted exactly what I wanted it because I wasn't prepared. I wouldn't have been able to maintain it. Am I saying don't try things? No, I'm saying when life knocks you down, don't always take it as a punishment. Sometimes it's protection. Most of the time it's protection for you to learn something. Like, learn from it. Don't just go back and do the same thing. Learn from that failure. Just like my last video, I said, when you fail, it's not a loss. It is a L, but L stands for lesson, not loss. Somebody might say, oh, what's the negative aspects of being rich and not being prepared for it? Well, if you have a lot of money, you're getting it from somewhere, and you have to keep up with taxes. You're going to have your family members asking you for money. You're going to have your friends asking you for money. You probably need to have new friends if you want to maintain it. It's a lot of things that goes behind it. Also, you have to start learning about net worth and investing and all these things. It requires a lot of stuff it's not just being rich. Most of the time when we have the idea of the thing that we want, we don't even really know what it is. We just label it and say, I want to be that. I want to be rich. I want to be married. I want to have children. I want to have that nice car. But it's the reality of having those things is totally different from the idea. Because again, there's a lot of things that are in the background that are needed to maintain it. You have to have a steady income. You have to know how to do your taxes. You have to have a skill. You have to be providing some good to the society to make them give you money. Sometimes life is preparing you for the thing you want before you get it. And sometimes that thing is just not for you. And that's okay too.